the ball.
Hey everybody, I'd like to introduce you to Zara, and this is her freedom ride on the first ever episode of Pet Rescue Urgent. Thanks for tuning in. Let's raise a paw and get started. Hello, my name is Zara. I'm a 2-year-old female Great Pyrenees from the Rio Grande Valley. My former owner, for some reason, let me go, and I came to live with my foster a little over a month ago. My foster says I'm possibly the sweetest girl she's ever had the pleasure of fostering, and of course I am. I love to go on walks, and I'm very well behaved when I meet other dog walkers. I would like to chase a squirrel now and then while we walk, but my foster says nope. I like riding in the car, and I'm still good when those trips sometimes end up at the vet. My foster has 3 dogs and 7 cats, which is no problem for me. I like them all. I did get a slap on the nose from one of these cats, so I guess he doesn't like to be sniffed. I've not been around little kids except passing in walks, but I think they'd be fun to play with. I've played with teenagers, my foster's grandkids. Neighbors have come over to meet me, and I really like all the attention. I'm not supposed to jump up on people, but I really like to give hugs. I also like to shake hands. I love the outdoors and I like to hang out on the deck and watch the squirrels. It's very hot here in Houston, so my foster keeps me inside in the AC when the weather's too warm for me to play outside. I'm a house trained and I haven't had one accident. I like to sleep in my dog bed or on the floor by my foster's side of the bed. I get fed twice a day, AM and PM. I drink lots of water, so I'm glad to have a big water bowl. I'm not too big on getting a bath, but I like to be brushed. My foster wishes I could stay with her forever, but she says I deserve a chance to have a forever home with someone who loves me as she does. You think you can help? It's May 22nd at 10:06 a.m. and the call for help arrives from Andrea Weldon Williams, the rescue coordinator, the heart of a transport, the one who makes it flow smoothly, gets everything arranged, and then the rescue happens. But this is the hub. This is the start of it all. Once this is posted, then there's a request for legs to be filled, ranging generally from an hour maximum to an hour and a half. All of these legs are filled with volunteers, all doing this out of the love of the puppy dogs, wanting to help save her life. And it's a scramble, and eventually it all comes together, and you see that magic word, filled. Thank you. The day before the transport, the group coordinator, again, in this case, Miss Andrea, sets up a group chat in Facebook Messenger. This is a one-stop spot for all of us to communicate and make sure that everything is going smoothly, answer any questions, report any issues with traffic, any issues with behavior of the dog that we're carrying, anything that we need to be aware of, any delays. And this is where on the day of the transport, it's got messages and things hopping like popcorn. Good morning, everybody. So tired. I couldn't sleep. I was so excited. Yep. Can't sleep anymore. Time to go get Zara. Yay! Indeed, no time to waste. Elizabeth had messaged at 7:19 that she was on her way to Cyprus, which is a small little area of the southwest of metropolitan of Houston, Texas. Then at 8:04, as I'm getting ready for my day, getting ready to head out of the house, she sends a beautiful picture and says, We are about to get started. Linda is gathering her things. Zara has had a good long walk. Hey, all right, so we have a delay. She's running 15 minutes late. So I'm on the hunt for the shoe polish. I didn't have time to decorate last night. And then I went to Dollar Store this morning and they didn't have any shoe polish. So then I'm like, dadgummit, they had brown and they had black, but they didn't have white. So this was perfect. I can do my windows like I like to do. Okay, but now I gotta figure out where I could get some shoe polish. Do you happen to know where there's shoe polish? We don't know. Oh, man. Sorry. Oops. They don't have shoe polish. We're gonna have to try those. So, here we go. Zara, you being a good girl. Oh, look at that. Zara is Chicago bound. Yeah, you excited, baby? You sure are cute. I think his paws are better than my paws. What do you... We're running late. What do you think, Zara? You ready to go? You are? You ready to go? How about a screech and a boop on a nose? You're so beautiful. Yay, that looks good. All right. You like it? Do you approve? Little cutie. Yeah, that's right. Get settled there. Get comfortable. Let's see if I can get... There we go. Here's that beautiful face. All right. I think your paws are better than my paws.
I only had a chance to go on one.
Okay. So we are on our way to Nacogdoches. I got some updates to do. So we're going to go down the road about 10 or 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more. And then I'll be doing another live stream, okay? Talk to you soon.
Sun's barely up and the highway's cold. Pine trees whisper soft as the raindrops falling. My car hums steady like a trusted friend. We're on the road for Zara's freedom run again. She spent too long in a kennel with a concrete floor, waiting on a heart like yours to open up the door. Now she's curled in the backseat, learning how to trust again. We're on the road for Zara's freedom run again. On the road for Zara again. Texas rain on the windshield, with her new life setting in. Every mile northbound is a promise we intend. We're on the road for Zara's freedom run again. From Houston's pines to the lights of Chicago town, she watches every mile like she knows she's Chicago bound. Tail tucked at first, but her spirit starts to mend as we roll the road for Zara's freedom run again. And maybe she don't know it yet, but this ride is her reset. From fear to hope, from lost to found, from Texas storms to solid ground. There's a family waiting up north with open arms, ready to keep her safe, to love her, keep her warm. When she steps out of that car, her new life will begin, as we hit the road for Zara's freedom run again. Find a road for Zara again. Little shelter girl finally getting her second wind. From the back roads of Texas to the city where hearts mend. We're on the road for Zara's freedom run again. Yeah, we're on the road for Zara's freedom run again. Sun's barely up and the highway's calm. Pine trees whisper soft as the raindrops falling. My car hums steady like a trusted friend. We're on the road for Zara's freedom run again. She spent too long in a kennel with a concrete floor, waiting on a heart like yours to open up the door. Now she's curled in the backseat, learning how to trust again. We're on the road for Zara's freedom run again. On the road for Zara again. Texas rain on the windshield, with her new life setting in. Every mile northbound is a promise we intend.
Aw, so we have made it. We've already handed off the paperwork. And now she's meeting her new friend. Did you see her? She put her paw out to shake. Can I have a kiss goodbye? Oh, you're so lucky. Mwah. Love you, Zara. Wish you happy tails.
What are you doing? You know my secret.
Alright, you ready to go TT and get on the road?
On the road for Zara's Freedom Run again. I wrote that song just for you. Yes, I did, pretty girl. Looks like no cheerleader showed up. I'm kind of bummed about that.
Need some water?
Yeah, that's up. Covered up. Good girl. Covered up.
This water?
Bye-bye.
She's so sweet.
Oh, I hate that you have to go up there that windy, sweetie. It's cold up there.
See, I love it up there.
I told her she might get lost in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good girl.
Be a good girl. She sleeps most of the time as expected.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's a great rider.
Good.
Just
She's got the whole back of the seat, or the whole back of the car pretty much.
Baby, baby.
Zara.
Love
Come here,
you.
Zara.
Zara,
Zara.
want some water?
All right, time to go. Let's go.
Squirrel.
Well, it's nice to meet you, and I look forward to more adventures since we're so close.
Yes. No water? You want no water? You sure?
Hi.
It's Riley. She's my
Hi, Riley.
my riding partner today.
And that's Jason, my riding partner today.
You want it?
Oh, wow, you got a big old comfy space in there.
Sorry. You want it here? I'll get this one. Sorry.
Come on. Get her. Come on. There you go.
All right, there she goes. All right, good teamwork.
I've learned after doing it for so long, like, what the best routine is.
Yep.
If y'all don't mind, like, give them up on her, and I'll go ahead and shut that side door.
You're so beautiful. Yeah.
And that way they have room to.
Oh yeah, for sure. But she's still tethered in. That's a great idea. Aw.
Now you're going to get there. Bye-bye, Zara.
Alright. She's like, on to the next league.
You're such a good sweet
Well, be
dog.
careful.
Thank y'all very, very much. And y'all be careful going back.
Chicago bound. It is hot, guys. My song is about raining, but turns out weatherman was wrong. Go figure. Bye, Zara. And she's off. Wow. Happy tails. I think I'm gonna cry. Anyway, they get in your heart. Transfer is complete, and at 12:45, Tracy and Zara are on the road to Texarkana. And once Tracy arrives, she comments, "Best dog ever," at the handoff. Our rescue coordinator Amanda drives too and is off at 1:50 after a much needed Zara potty break and a small sip of water. That is right. She is a rescue coordinator, traffic coordinator, peacekeeper, you name it, and she still manages to get on the road and do a run with Zara. Amazing. 2 legs superhero. Amanda and Zara arrive at the transfer point at 4:05, and Amanda noticed Zara was the perfect passenger princess. And guess what? She sleeps with her tongue out. By 4:08, Zara and Christy are on the road again to Newport, Arkansas. Around 5:20, Christy gets some final hugs in as Zara meets with Tina. A few minutes later, Tina and the newly dubbed Sweet Zara by Christy are headed to Biggers, Arizona at 5:26 for a spend the night party. Early the next morning, Zara and Elizabeth were on the road again, and Elizabeth said that she was having a hard time letting her go as Zara did so well with her other brood of pups. And just like that, at 8:05 a.m., she is off to Poplar Bluff, Missouri with Sandra. At 9:38, Zara is relaxing in the back seat with Sandra, waiting for her next friend Chris to arrive. Oh no! Emergency! Chris is unable to complete the leg, but in true team fashion, Melissa and Sandra split the leg and they decide to meet in Greenville, Missouri. Go team! At 11:39, Michelle says goodbye, giving all the loving scritches and kisses she can. And then as she gets loaded at 11:40 into Lois's van, she gets scritches, oh darn, from Lois. After a couple of cuddles, they are on their way to Litchfield. Upon arriving at Litchfield, she took a much-needed wee and had a drink with Lois, and she was such a good girl. Teresa didn't waste any time with words, and she was on it and left at 1:09 p.m. heading to Springfield. Her phone number apparently was missing a digit. No problem though, as our faithful coordinator was on it and she found a resolution. Volunteer Crystal, she just ran with the punches, and she successfully met up with Teresa. After a potty break and some water, at 2:06, they were off to Bloomington. During the drive, she decided once again to get more beauty sleep. She had had a long day yesterday and today, and she was plumb tuckered out. At 3:14, the transfer was complete, and as Dan was on his way to Braidwood, Crystal could be overheard commenting, "Oh, my heart, she is so sweet." At 4:31, Dan pulls into the spot, and he made a comment about how this place was way off the interstate. Meeting places can vary for multiple reasons. Could be meant to be there for safer access on or off the interstate. However, meeting spots that are arranged beforehand can always be switched if either driver needs accommodation. He rolled with it though. He noticed a big grassy area across the street our queen could go for a walk, and he changed the location. Apparently though, that small walk wore her out, and she napped while she was waiting for Holly. Dan and Holly decided to take her for a good walk when they met up. She started by doing a big stretch downward dog yoga to make sure she was all warmed up. At 5:15, our coordinator is starting to get worried, but Dan tells her about the walkies and how she is such a good girl and says it was a pleasure helping out. With that, Holly's on her way to her final destination in Hanover Park, Illinois. After making this face, Zara is now dubbed the sweetest, biggest furball. Look at that face. Holly was super amazing, and she gave a super duper possum interview, and I am devastated that the audio didn't stick for some reason. I'm going to be working with the tech somehow to get it fixed, and will post if I'm ever successful in the future. But I'm telling you guys, I literally cried. Our foster gave a great interview kindly as well. Prayers I can recover the audio. I will definitely test this the next time. And with a final hug, around 8 p.m., Zara rides off into the sunset to her foster's home. Happy tales, Zara, and hope you find your forever home soon. We have no doubt in you that you will steal hearts. Happy tales. Love you.
Sun's barely up and the highway's calling. Pine trees whisper soft as the raindrops falling. My car hums steady like a trusted friend. We're on the road for Zara's freedom run again. She spent too long in a kennel with a concrete floor, waiting on a heart like yours to open up the door. Now she's curled in the backseat, learning how to trust again. Yeah, we're on the road for Zara's freedom run again. On the road for Zara again. Texas rain on the windshield, but her new life setting in. Every mile northbound is a promise we intend. We're on the road for Zara's freedom run again. From Houston's pines to the lights of Chicago town, she watches every mile like she knows she's Chicago bound. Tail tucked at first, but her spirit starts to mend as we roll the road for Zara's freedom run again. And maybe she don't know it yet, but this ride is her reset. From fear to hope, from lost to found, from Texas storms to solid ground. There's a family waiting up north with open arms, ready to keep her safe, to love her, keep her warm. When she steps out of that car, her new life will begin. 'Cause we hit the road for Zara's freedom run again. Find a road for Zara again. Little shelter girl finally getting her second wind. From the back roads of Texas to the city where hearts mend, we're on the road for Zara's freedom run again. Yeah, we're on the road for Zara's freedom run again.